Most people throw rusty tools away when they don't have to. What if I told you one of the best rust removers is a potato? Another costs less than $1, and the strongest one can rescue tools that look completely beyond saving. Today, I'm showing you 5 easy rust removal hacks that actually work, and trust me, number 4 sounds completely insane until you try it. Let's start with number 5, baking soda paste. This is the gentlest trick on the list, and it's perfect for tools that only have a light dusting of rust. Think a screwdriver with a few orange freckles, or a wrench that sat in a damp drawer too long. You don't want to attack light rust like that with a strong acid, because acid can eat into the good metal underneath. Baking soda is the safe middle ground. It's a mild abrasive that scrubs the rust off, and it's gentle enough that it won't chew up the steel below it. The method is dead simple. Pour some baking soda into a small bowl and add just enough water to turn it into a thick paste, about the texture of toothpaste. Smear that paste right over the rusty spots until they're fully covered, then walk away and let it sit for an hour or 2. The longer it sits, the more it loosens the rust. Come back with an old toothbrush or a piece of steel wool and scrub along the metal. You'll see the orange lift off and the bare steel shine through. Rinse it clean with water and dry it really well. For a little extra punch on a tougher spot, pour a splash of white vinegar right onto the baking soda paste and let it fizz, then scrub. That bubbling helps lift the rust up out of the tiny pits. If a stubborn patch hangs on, just mix a fresh batch and run it again. And honestly, that's the whole trick. A box of baking soda costs about $1 and lasts forever, while a fancy rust remover runs you 10 times that. But baking soda mostly handles the light stuff, so for rust that's dug in deeper, you're going to love the next one, because it sounds completely insane. And that brings us to number 4, the potato trick. Yeah, an actual potato off your kitchen counter. It sounds like a joke, but there's real chemistry behind it. Raw potatoes are full of oxalic acid, and oxalic acid is the exact same stuff packed into a lot of store-bought rust removers. It reacts with the rust and breaks it down so it wipes away easily. So that spud in your pantry is secretly a rust remover in disguise. And it costs you basically nothing, since you probably already bought the potato to eat. The move is simple. Slice a potato in half, then rub a little dish soap onto the cut end, or dip it in baking soda for some extra grit. Now scrub the cut side straight onto the rusty metal. The acid goes after the rust while the soap lifts away the grime, and the potato's soft enough that it won't scratch a thing. For a rusty knife or a small blade, you can just stab it straight into the potato and leave it sitting there for a few hours, then pull it out and wipe it clean. Now for a bonus that almost nobody knows about. Sweet potatoes actually pack even more oxalic acid than regular ones, so if you've got one lying around, it works even better. Just don't snack on the potato afterward, since it's now covered in old rust. This trick is best for light rust on knives, garden tools, and small hand tools. It also works a treat on rusty pots, pans, and even grill grates, so it's not just for the toolbox. But if you've got rusty chrome that you want shining like a mirror again, number 3 is about to blow your mind. Real quick, if these tricks are already saving some of your tools, do me a tiny favor and smash that subscribe button. Now let's get into number 3, aluminum foil. This one is basically a magic trick the first time you try it. Tear off a piece of regular kitchen foil, crumple it into a loose ball, and dip it in water. Then just rub it over the rusty spot. Within seconds you'll see the rust start lifting off and smearing onto the foil as a dark paste. It works unbelievably well on chrome, so think wrenches, sockets, bike handlebars, old chrome trim, anything shiny that's gone freckled with rust. So why does a little foil beat the rust? It's actually a tiny electrical reaction. Aluminum is a more reactive metal than the iron in the rust, so when the wet foil touches the rust, the aluminum basically pulls the oxygen away from the iron and takes the damage onto itself instead. On top of that, foil is softer than chrome, so it polishes the surface smooth without leaving a single scratch. That dark thunk building up on the foil is the rust and the aluminum mixing together as they trade places. The best part is you can actually watch your progress, because the more rust that jumps onto the foil, the cleaner your tool gets. Keep the foil wet the whole time, and re-wet it the moment it dries out. A pinch of salt in water, or a splash of vinegar, speeds it up even more. Wipe the surface clean afterward, then dry it off. Just one heads up though. Skip this on brushed stainless steel, because it can leave little swirl marks behind. But for chrome, it's pure gold. Now those first three are great for light and medium rust. However, the next two go after the really stubborn stuff. So that takes us to number 2, lemon and salt. When the rust is a lot tougher than a light dusting, you bring in a real kitchen acid. Lemon juice is loaded with citric acid, which dissolves rust the same way those pricey removers do. And the salt acts like a gentle scrubbing grit to help it along. Together, they hit the rust from 2 sides at once. Sprinkle a good layer of coarse salt straight onto the rusty area until it's well coated. Then squeeze fresh lemon juice all over the salt until it turns into a wet, gritty paste. Let that sit and soak for around 2 to 3 hours so the acid has time to chew through the rust. After that, scrub it with a brush, a scrunch-tucked-up rag, or even the leftover lemon rind, and rinse it clean. Then dry it off well, because any acid or water left behind will just invite the rust straight back. One warning though, don't leave the lemon and salt sitting on there for days, because given enough time, that acid can start pitting the good metal too. Want it even stronger? Skip the lemon and grab a small box of citric acid powder from the baking aisle at the store. Dissolve a few spoons of it in a container of hot water, drop your tool right in, and let it soak. It's basically lemon juice with the volume turned up, and it's still food safe and dirt cheap. This is perfect for tools that are too rusty for a potato, but that you don't want to fully soak overnight. However, when a tool is so crusted over that you think it's a total lost cause, there's one last trick left, and it's easily the most powerful of them all. And that leaves number 1, a white vinegar soak. This is the heavy hitter, the one that rescues tools so rusted you'd swear they belong in the garbage. Plain white vinegar is about 5% acetic acid, and that acid slowly dissolves the rust right off the metal while you do absolutely nothing. Just drop the whole rusty tool into a container, pour in enough vinegar to cover it completely, and then leave it alone. Light rust needs only a few hours, but a badly crusted tool can sit overnight, or even up to a full day. Want it to work even faster? Stir in a handful of salt, because the salt cranks up the acidity and pushes the whole thing along quicker. After the soak, pull the tool out and scrub the loosened rust away with steel wool or a wire brush. It practically falls right off. If you left it in way too long and the surface looks dark gray instead of clean steel, that's the acid starting to turn the rust black, which is your cue to stop soaking. But this is the secret almost every video skips, and it's the most important part of the whole process. The second you rinse that vinegar off, the bare metal starts rusting all over again within minutes. That's called flash rust, and it'll undo every bit of your work fast. So you've got to move quick. Rinse the tool, then soak it for 10 minutes in water mixed with baking soda to cancel out the leftover acid. Dry it completely, every little crevice, then rub it down with a light oil like WD-40 or even some cooking oil to seal it up. One more thing, never leave a tool sitting in vinegar for days, because once the rust is gone, the acid turns on the good metal and starts pitting it. Check on it, and pull it out the moment it's clean. Do all that, and a tool you nearly threw away comes out looking honestly brand new. So there you go, 5 cheap and easy ways to wipe rust off your tools and rescue the ones you thought were goners. And whatever method you use, always dry the tool and give it a thin coat of oil afterward, because that's what stops the rust from crawling right back. Pick your rustiest tool and go try one tonight. If this saved you from buying replacements you didn't need, hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one.